Today's episode is brought to you by the Vegas Beer Guys.
Everything sequel contains explicit language. And why the fudge not, you melon farmer?
This is a Pitch a Sequel segment. We're talking house party movies. Michael Shantz here of the How Dare You Awards. Joining me, you know him, you love him, Pitchmaster himself. He'll have a good title for you. Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions. Hit him, Tom.
Sergeant Sausage is present and ready for duty. Prepare for insertion. By the way, that's a line from House Party 3, not me reporting for duty.
I understand. I had to flip back and forth for a second because I thought, wait, is that Tony Burton? No, Tony Burton wouldn't say that in House Party 2. Is Kid saying that in House Party 2 in the kitchen? No,
Yeah.
Wait. Let me go to the butchers in House Party 3. I really had to go back and forth.
Yeah. No, it's in the bedroom, the sort of semi-rape scene
Ugh,
that begins the movie
terrible.
with his fiancée.
Yeah.
And I think, he should marry her just because she laughed at that.
Right.
That's a sign that they belong together.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to get better, kid. It's not going to get better for you, kid. If that woman is laughing at you saying that,
It's the best
instead
you
of
can
macing
do.
you, she's the one.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're here to pitch sequels to the House Party series.
Yeah, a series
and
that we both already agree has gone on
Too long.
at least one
It
film
is-
too long.
It is the series that will not stop.
Yeah.
And I did not think of that when we said we would do this series. I wasn't.
Why would
I
you
wasn't
think
thinking that this
it was
was-
the curse it turned out to be?
Yeah,
of
exactly,
course
yeah.
You wouldn't have embarked on this if you thought it was gonna haunt us for what seems like
It's
years.
so funny that, learning that there were 4 movies in total, I kind of was, okay, all right. But they're all, or at least they all were, on HBO Max 2 months ago. And
At least.
it's funny, just the gut punch that one more movie was for both of us.
Yeah, I know.
It's astonishing.
It's interesting because we watch a lot of bad movies for this podcast
Sure.
because we're indiscriminate,
Yeah,
right?
right.
We in our we're not choosing something because it's good or because it's bad. We're just choosing because we think it's going to be interesting to talk about.
Sure.
So that could go either way, and yet
And it does.
with with this series, just the fact that there was an extra one at the end that we had to watch.
Contend with.
It just sucked all the pleasure out of
No.
doing this.
And there
that's
is
the first
plenty
time
of
I've ever
pleasure
felt-
to be had.
The first
with the
time I've ever
series.
felt like that.
Yeah, right.
Where I was feeling like this is work as opposed to
Yeah, right.
I'm getting something out of even the worst film I've seen. But it felt like the series had got one over on us.
I know.
And it wasn't
Well,
wasn't a
because we
feeling
both
I
had to
liked.
pay for it too. That was an
both had to
extra
pay for
insult.
We both thought we were done.
Mm-hmm.
It came after House Party 4, which, as I've said on previous episodes, is unequivocally one of the worst films I've ever seen. So that those conditions aren't ripe for
One more.
one more. No, yeah, it's really the last thing you want to
And,
hear.
and then we
in
set
that mode.
ourselves up to deliver more ideas.
Sure. I mean, why not? Why can't my question is, why can't we?
It is our mandate.
If Chris Stokes and Darren Scott took their shot, then why can't we?
Heard. Easy for you? Difficult?
I genuinely don't know.
Hmm.
What do you? I mean, I suppose it's like the last two films in the series showed me what to avoid in terms of what direction to take the series.
Hmm.
So, in some senses, it was easy because I go, well, not that, not
Right.
any of that. But
We have a semi-rich family.
but at the a rich family who live in a modest Airbnb
in South Africa.
in a human theme park in South Africa. That should have been my pitch.
Yeah, really. I saw the wheels turning in your head. Of oh no, that was a good idea.
That was the one that got away. We just pull out, and it's a kind of living zoo.
Hey, with
in
that
South
last
Africa.
movie, don't say pull out. God
Oh,
knows
that's right.
what pornographic scene you might be talking about.
Exactly.
Fuck's sake.
But it's hard to know what life is left in the franchise to, that's why I don't know, because it's easy to see where you could go wrong, but it's also hard to know what you could possibly do at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? How did you feel?
Not great.
Wow, you took an even bigger pause than I did, which I didn't think was possible.
Yeah. Sometimes ideas just spring to you, and an idea sprang into life and took form sort of immediately.
Okay,
But
so it was easy. That's good.
I've had such a shitty kind of week or two of just busyness
Yeah.
befalling upon me in a way in which I could not flush it out as much as I would like. So,
And it's hard to tell the people that you're working for and with.
why I don't
need some
want
time to myself so I
Yes.
could come up with
With a
pitch,
House Party
sequel
sequel.
pitch for the 6th House
Yeah.
Party movie.
I
I've tried that,
remember-
believe me.
I can't remember what series we were doing, but I remember being at a party and
Yeah,
having
I
quite
know
a
exactly
good
what
time
it was.
and
Yeah.
saying, I
It
gotta
was Generations.
go. It was Generations. Of course you remember. It's like, I have
was
to
the
go
best thing.
home and watch a Star Trek Bridge sequel. Thank you.
And I can remember where I was when I heard you say that on the podcast. Obviously, when I heard you say it first, I was here.
Yeah,
but-
what are you talking about? You were in your closet.
But when I heard it on the podcast, I could see where I could visualize where I was, because I laughed so hard, and had to stop and take a moment, because it just sums up what our lives are like sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's we've chosen not just to do a podcast that releases episodes weekly,
Right.
but we've also done it where we have to watch, multiple films in order to record sometimes a single episode.
Yeah.
So you do get those situations where you're like, I'm Christina Hendricks. I'm sorry, I can't go out on our date tonight because Terminator Salvation is calling my name.
It's up next. What can I do?
And I have to rank them all, so I have to see the entire series.
I can't not watch it before
And
the
that's
first
just not
episode,
gonna-
which
and
is the
that's just-
ranking episode.
And that's just not gonna mesh with the night of sweet love we have planned.
Believe me, I want to be there. Wish I could. Oh, that's great.
Anyway,
What else? I don't know.
I was gonna say we suffer for our art, but there's no art here, so it's just suffering.
You know what you never do? I imagine we don't get a lot of votes, but you never update me on who wins these battles. I imagine it's like 2
Our
votes
glam
to 1.
slams,
Yeah.
our glam slams. Yeah, I mean exactly.
Because one just came out the other day, right?
Sure. I'm not going to say what because then that'll date the podcast. See, I'm getting better.
There you go.
None of this referring to films in episodes that haven't been released yet, as we used to do back in the day. What the hell are they talking about?
I have no idea.
You'll
Let's
find
turn
out
it off.
in 6 months' time.
We're ahead of the curve. Why aren't you?
Right. We're
All right.
living in the future or the past. Podcasting is like a kind of time travel, isn't it? Unless you record the day of.
And we have our time machine.
Oh, for
You know,
this,
for
absolutely.
pitching sequels, we can do whatever we want.
We can, yeah, we're not bound by the laws of time and space.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have you go first.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to listen while I formulate more of mine.
Sometimes you just got to rip off the Band-Aid and start talking and see what happens. That's
true.
always my approach. Well, you started this episode by saying you're probably going to love his title, and I'm rather proud of this title.
You're going to hate mine. I can't wait.
Well, that's the flip side of that particular coin. But my sequel is called House Party Planners.
Oh.
House Party Planners.
Like they start a business?
Yeah, you're on the right track. So, the movie begins with my favorite part of the franchise so far, which is the duet with TLC / Sex as a Weapon from House Party 3. Essentially the last time we see Kid and Play in any meaningful sense. And then that goes into a montage of, Kid and Play managing, big act after big act on the road to success. Except every time they manage a successful act, the successful act gets so successful, they leave them behind and move on to like a bigger producer or a bigger record company. And so we see them, manage Sex as a Weapon to success, and then we see Sex as a Weapon sign with another company and change their name to TLC and have this incredible mainstream success. We see them manage Immature, and then Immature reach puberty. And we see a headline, the most boring rap group in the history of the music, that kind of thing. So when Immature age out of the process, they have to leave them behind. And then, they go back to some old favorites, just like Cameron, my roommate from college.
Oh, yeah.
We'll manage him. And of course, he gets so big that he's snapped up by what's Eminem's? Well, he's not Eminem's manager. What's his name?
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre, yeah, exactly. So you see him Dr. Dre takes him on, and he becomes the new Eminem. So basically, we see the pattern. Kid and Play, they take a group to success, and then they're abandoned. So they're trying to find a way to get through the music business that's sustainable. So they start looking for, they start trying to scout for new acts around, or people they can work with right from the beginning and kind of mold in their own image. So they take on the rappers from House Party 4 down to the last minute. They manage them. that
You're really going for a continuity check here.
Exactly. And of course, the headlines are worst ever rap group. All-time low in rap, kind of as you would expect from those. And then we catch up to the point that we see them at the end of House Party (5).
Yeah.
Tonight's the night.
Tonight's the night.
Okay, got it right for the first time. And and they're gonna they manage this group, but this this group is this duo is based on a viral video. They don't go anywhere, so now they've got to
Right.
the point where even they can't make acts succeed anymore. So it's not even that the acts leave them when they go into bigger things. It's just that they can't sustain it. And they make some bad investments. They try a line of Kid and Play um, Bluetooth headphones, trying to following the industry trend. And instead of left and right on each ear, you have K and P. But they are, of
Right.
course, sued by Key and Peele, who came up with the same line just before them. So in this massive lawsuit, so they end up just completely broke and
Destitute.
destitute. So in about 2014. Well, no, this has taken them to the present day. Basically, it's now like 2023, and they're like, "What What are we gonna do?" It's like music's done for us. What are we gonna do for the rest of our lives? And Kid's like, "You know what? I'm gonna go back to school.
Mm.
I'm gonna get that college diploma that
That was a lingering point for you.
It was exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like remember when I said I was gonna go to college and then I changed my mind and we went into the music business. Well, I decided I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get that diploma. I'm gonna go back to college. That's what he's gonna say. And then Kid and Play are gonna sue them for saying that as well. And then so Kid tries to go back to college, and he's like, well, I'll do what I did last time. I'll do a work study. I'll work in the kitchens, and that's how I'll pay my way. But not realizing how much more expensive college has got, and that that wouldn't even give him like a semester's worth of his tuition.
You're trying to make a point, a point about the state of
Sure.
college
Well,
right now.
where else would you do that but a house party movie?
Okay, fine.
Uh, and so kids back in college, and he's enrolled, and he realizes that he's going to get himself into huge debt and he's never going to get out of it. There's a kid in not a kid. There's another student who is young in his class,
Mm-hmm.
who's a rich child. I have to not say kid because then it gets
I
confusing.
understand. Yes.
And his father is like a Jeff Bezos kind of a tech millionaire, like a giant conglomerate millionaire.
Mm.
And they are Kid and Play are still legends for the house party that they had at he's gone back to the same college, and they're still legends at that college for the house party that the Jammy Jams.
The Jammy Jam.
Yeah, the Jammy Jams. As this kid knows all about him, and he's like, oh my god, there's like this, it's like you're still legendary here, and he's like, yeah, well, but look at me now, I can't even afford to go to school, and just at that point, Daddy Bezos, wants to put together like the ultimate event for his company. Like the biggest, instead of going into space, it's like the ultimate party of all time. And so his son hears about this and says, there's this guy Kid who's part of Kid and Play, and they did these legendary house parties. And so Daddy Bezos approaches Kid and sort of says, I'll pay your tuition, your free ride. And what you're going to do is you're going to stage the ultimate house party. Money is no object. You can have all the resources you want. You can get all the acts that you want. And so Kid starts to plan, this ultimate with the.
It is a sequel. You should probably put it in space.
Yeah, that's true. I should have gone to space. Yeah, this all takes place on the moon. Didn't I say that? And then we zoom out and it's South Africa.
Yeah.
So anyway, like a kid, he brings Play back into the fold, who's gone back to the record store, which is like now like a thrift store. So he's So he brings Play back in. It's like money's no object. We can get anyone we want. We can like any place we want, except Daddy Bezos has got a scheme. Well, it's not really a scheme, but basically he's figured out that he's gonna go that his company's gonna tank and he's gonna go bankrupt. So basically he's doing a Nero and he wants to watch Rome burn.
Okay.
And so all the money that he still before his money's taken away from him, he's going to spend it all on this one huge party. So he's got nothing to give Kid and Play at the end of it all. All his money's going to be taken away from him. The rest of the movie is about Kid finding this out. The friend he has at college, who's the son of the guy, who's he going to be loyal to, his dad or his new college friend? Is Kid gonna tell Play that there's no money at the end of this, that they're just doing it for the sake of it? And that's House Party Planners.
All right. House Party Planners. Okay.
A 2023 film.
I'm doing the same thing.
Are you doing it right in the modern day?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. The only downside is Kid still looks weird. I was hoping he'd age out of...
Of weirdness.
Yeah, it's not happening. If it hasn't happened now, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Agreed.
So you'll have to look at him. It's the only downside.
All right. I'm nervous.
Why?
Just am. I haven't written anything down. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here.
Unlike me, I mean, I was reading from extensive notes.
I feel like you've thought about it more. All right.
Thought about the title.
You ready for this?
Oh, no.
Well, get
Definitely not. I don't like it when you start pointing.
I'm going to call my sequel House Pork...
No. House Pork. Got it. I'm in.
I'm calling my sequel House Party 4,
Whoa.
for realsies.
Okay.
The idea being...
Direct sequel to House Party 3.
Yeah. Kid and Play are back. Sorry, not going your route. 5 and 6 don't matter. Or sorry, 4 and 5. I said 5 and 6. And
now, 6 is mine, so mine. You've just erased my film from continuity.
Well, that's how I'm gonna win. So
the old Halloween trick, eh?
You got that right. So I'm reverting back because our heroes are back. They'll be in the movie again, and then you get that sort of meta kind of, this is for real, everyone. This is the real House Party 4. Nothing else you've seen since House Party 3 matters. As we meet our heroes, Kid is still married and has a son.
Ah.
I'm going to say son's born in 1998.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And so
4 years after they got married, yeah.
And getting to the end of college career. College has taken a little bit longer.
Wait.
And
so Kid went back to college and yours as well?
Well, no.
Or was he getting his degree the whole time? Throughout House Party 3.
Sorry. I made the mistake that you refused to make. Not Kid, Kid's child.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes. So, Kid has a child. I'm already fucking up my sequel.
No, you're not. No, that's fine.
Kid had a child, and that child is graduating from college.
And it's 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes total sense. What? But he took it. But he took a bit. Is there any reason why he took longer?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
The reason is his dad, who, as we know, as far as we're concerned, did not finish college, is bearing down on his son about how much he wants his son to finish college.
Right.
The son, meanwhile, of course, has a relationship with what we're going to call his uncle, Play.
Oh, so he's slipping into the Uncle Vesta role.
Right. So what we've got here is a situation in which Kid wants his child to go a non-musical route and wants him to graduate from college and become a professional. Meanwhile, his child is kind of always talking about, this is what I really want, and he's not discussing it with his father. He's always talking to Play. So what you do is you bring in, that kind of tug and pull between Kid and Play again.
Yeah.
In which Play is, kind of fucking something up because it's cross purposes against Kid.
Yeah.
He, every once in a while he's helping out the child, and they're going to clubs. They're kind of doing stuff together. All of this is behind Kid's back.
Yeah.
But now he's finally going to graduate, but he's kind of, he's stuck because he feels like if he graduates, I have to go then get a job.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what I want. So he'll still be married. We still got, what I wanted to do. I mean, it's funny that you said that bit about Uncle Vester and that's now Play's role. Because at a certain point, I thought, just to piss you off, I would put in like a de-aged Bernie Mac just to come in and go ape shit in the movie again. Just because I knew it would make you insane with rage.
Absolutely.
At any rate, what I wanted was we're going to get to a point in which everything blows up. Kid finds out what's going on. He's super pissed.
Oh, not literally. Oh, metaphorically.
Metaphorically.
I thought you were just going to end it with a big explosion.
No, we don't end with a big explosion, but we have to bring everybody back together. And it's going to be through the help of his wife. I was thinking we could bring back, I'm actually forgetting the character's name. What was his girlfriend's name?
Sydney?
Sydney?
How does Sydney factor back in?
Well, just to she knows him well enough, and she was there in college to say, listen, yeah, you think this is important, but it's not the route you took. It's not, she and the wife kind of come together with Play.
Yeah.
In a united front to say, don't you want your kid to be happy? You're happy doing what you're doing, and so and then of course we're going to have a big record producer that might take a listen to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that we have to have a house party to get him there. You know what? Maybe to let her get there. Because it's so funny that you said what you had started with in your sequel.
Gender flipping on the fly.
In your pitch, because I was my mindset was the same thing, that their career had petered out.
Mm-hmm.
So they couldn't help him. So we do have that commonality in our sequels. So they had petered out. They couldn't, do what they wanted to do.
Right.
Or what, they couldn't help him in the way that they would want to. So they got to get somebody who will listen, and the way to do that is a house party, and we'll have a house party.
So they're staging a house party for the son's career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And there you have it. House Party 4 for realsies.
Excellent. I liked that's not an offensive title.
Okay.
Aside from the, I don't like erasing films from continuity. I mean,
I know.
that's,
yeah.
That feels like a personal slight. But the title
if there
itself,
are two movies that deserve it more, I don't know what they
it's
are.
Not about, it's you got to work with what you got.
I don't. I didn't.
Something that made me chuckle, just because I think, we absorb sequel conventions into our heads. What you described in terms of the father and the son, and the father wanting him to be a professional, and the
Yeah.
son wanting to be
It's
in
good.
music.
It's Godfather.
Godfather 3.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew that going in. That was conscious.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, I eventually, as I was,
Yeah.
this idea first came to me in the shower. And then as I was getting out of the shower, I thought, that's kind of good. I keep saying Goodfellas. That's kind of Godfather.
Same year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very different movies.
Very. Only one of them should have won Best Picture, but did not.
True. That's right. Godfather 3 didn't make it. You'll find out if that's true or not at a later date.
I like this picture. One dog's this way, the other dog's that way.
And Al Pacino saying, "What do you want from me?"
Well, there you have it. Two
Okay.
pitches in the books.
Well, I think we've done a very good salvage job on a series that is sort of I don't know how you describe it. What is the trajectory of this series? I mean, it's just I could just say downwards, but I think that's not very poetic.
It's a plummet. Yeah.
It's just like a sinkhole.
It's a
after
sinkhole of
certain
sadness after 3.
point. But a sort of a like, it's not. I guess it's not even just. You've got the low point, and then you've got what seems like a higher point, but is actually just the low point.
Yeah, right.
That doesn't look as much like a low point.
I guess for me,
From the outside.
you have the low point, and then you have somebody who said, "I'm sorry, what? I can't hear you. I'll just keep digging."
Yeah. Well, certainly hasn't learned the lessons of the previous movie.
No. It actually
that's-
draws from it.
Yeah, that's the strange
Very
thing.
strange.
It is, and maybe we just don't know enough about direct-to-video sequels and how they work. Maybe they
Maybe we
live
have
in
to
this
do more.
shared universe of.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Like we've just skimmed the surface, and
Mm-hmm.
we know that Tremors is on the high end.
I was gonna say, yeah, we know Tremors, and we have this
boutique
Mhm.
video sequel. Omen 4 we've seen.
I was gonna say we have some occasional end of series.
Treasure Buddies.
Yeah, right.
Hellraiser Inflection. What's that called? It's something like that.
I don't know.
Hellraiser in
Hellraiser Mexico.
Revelation.
Don't they go to Mexico? Tijuana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. It begins at the. It begins, as I said at the time, begins a few miles from my house at
That's
the
right.
San Diego border with Mexico.
All right. Anything left for you, sir?
No, I mean, I think we've reflected on the series enough. Obviously, we're gonna go back to it because it's
Mhm.
got an original and a reboot. Have you seen the reboot?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. So we're going in blind. That's great.
Yeah.
So
I
it'll
stepped
be
into a movie theater by accident, and it was on in that movie theater. And I heard LeBron James say the N-word once, and I thought, I'm going to leave.
Were you going in to see the movie?
No.
Okay. What movie were you trying to see?
I don't remember. I think actually I was leaving a movie, and I heard a sound, and I thought, what movie is that? So I walked in
That's
and immediately walked out.
It's really funny, like how we keep sort of seeing flashes of these movies
I know.
before we're forced to endure all of them. But we've obviously, we've been miserable, but we've been miserable about the process of watching them. But I think it's been like I've learned a lot
Okay.
from this franchise, and I feel like it is new territory for us.
No, I think it's definitely that. Yeah.
And also, it adds to the database in a way that
Right. Yeah.
is actually really useful. Like, I feel like we've seen a different way that it can all go down
Mm-hmm.
and down and down and down.
Because actually, this series makes me curious about behind the scenes stuff, decisions being made, how they get made, and why they do what they do. You know, when you
After
have
so many years,
yeah, like when you have a House Party 3 and then you wait a good number of years
yeah,
and somebody says, "Hey, let's do a House Party 4. We can't get Kid and Play, but we can use the model and
we can use the Kid and Play dummies."
Yeah, right. And then to just say, "Yeah, okay, you can do that. Here's $20." And then make a House Party 4.
And then
You
they're
know?
like, "Great, $3 change."
Yeah.
Here's $17 worth of movie.
I like the quick math in your head. There's no way they spent more than 17.
Yeah, I was like, it's that sort of. It's like we said about Troll 2 with the budget was all 7-Eleven receipts.
7-Eleven receipts, yeah, right.
I don't know. I think it was like 99-cent store receipts
For this one.
this one. The onions to put in the fruit bowl.
It was like, do you know a guy who has a tow truck? One of those flatbed tow trucks? Yeah, I got a buddy who works with those. Tell him to come over to the rich person's house. All right.
Wait, I've got to stop off and get a wig. Why? I'm working
Don't
on
worry
a
about it.
character.
I created him in my improv class.
That's totally how. I bet the people in Chris Stokes' improv class are sick of seeing that guy.
It's Michael Scott's, detective that comes in and shoots everyone.
Yeah, it's like every skit ends up revolving around tow trucks, just so we could get this guy in.
Again,
so
in
it's
improv,
been,
you don't have to wear the wig. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
It's like people won't believe I'm these girls' fathers, even though these girls are not girls.
Right.
Yeah, so it's been a real, it's been a bit of a slog, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're better for it. Sometimes you have to.
You gotta have painful growth spurts.
Yeah, you do, and we're gonna look back on this and say we learned a lot about ourselves, about sequels.
A year from now, I'll think of it fondly, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Somebody will say something House Party, or we'll be doing, in a year or so, maybe we'll be doing those two originals at some point. And then I'll say, "Oh yeah, House Party."
I'm looking
movies.
forward to at least one of them. I think the only way we'd look back nostalgically on this experience would be if we were doing the Death Wish series,
Mm.
and we were just like compared to that, the House Party feels like escapism.
Well, you know my feelings for at least one of those sequels already.
I can't. Well, and that's like the second one, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine what you're gonna say about the fifth.
Right, exactly. Where do they go from there?
What's going on in that movie? How is Charles Bronson even standing up at that point? Yeah, it's interesting. One of my big takeaways is that I think from the outside, people think this is what we do all the time. These kinds of movies, but it's actually quite rare that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very rare to get a movie as truly terrible as House Party 4,
Or
and
5.
to a lesser extent 5.
Or maybe a little more 5.
Yeah, give or take.
Depending on your point
And
of
it
view.
reminds me, you know, we do most of the time we do good, great, or competent movies on the podcast. But sometimes we do the kinds of movies that you might imagine would be on every week for a sequel podcast. If you if you had the feelings about sequels that we had before we started watching them en masse.
Yeah, I think that's a big takeaway because, I mean, even in our original description, we talked about, we'll be talking about the hardest of movies to get right, the sequel.
Sure.
Because sequels have this reputation, but when you watch as many as we have, even movies that have a reputation as being bad, and we're saying, it's not that bad.
It's all about context, and
yeah,
you know, you gather data
mm-hmm.
over the years that allows
right.
you to see certain sequels that might seem disappointing differently.
Yeah,
you know, and reevaluate them. And this is good information.
mm-hmm.
Because we can take this forward into whatever we do next, and it's part of our canon now, our sequel canon.
Exactly right. It's part of our
because
history.
that's what informs my decision making about how I feel about the films at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back when we just started, I was just, you know, saying whatever came into my mind, like, that's just terrible.
That's awful.
Why would I watch this? This is a waste of time. Now I'm just like it kind of is a waste of time, but it's not as much a waste of time as this. So I guess there's some value in it. So
that's good.
We need more series like this.
Yeah.
Just but not for a while.
Let's take a break.
It's kind of funny though, like in my head, you know, the way that we're doing our Patreon episodes,
mm-hmm.
We're kind of what is it we say? What's the formula we use of like going one from now, one from the beginning?
Yeah.
Well, I had a nice term for it, but I've completely forgotten what that is.
Well, I don't know. A seesaw? We seesaw?
Sure, that'll do.
Was that the great term you were
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. But it's potentially better, so I'll take it. And like once I actually sat down and sort of figured out
the old back and forth.
The old switcheroo. It's we're so old. I forgot what was I don't even know what I was saying.
I don't know. I'm so sorry. I interrupted
you. Oh, I know what it was. So because like we're going back and forth on the series we've done, and I was like, oh, it'd be so long before we get to like what we're doing now. It's not going to be that long.
Mm-hmm.
At the rate we're going, we're going to catch up with ourselves pretty quickly. So we'll potentially be doing House Party a lot quicker than we might expect.
All right. Well, I look forward to it.
At that point, I think we should consider changing the format. Because it's a sign that it's not. It's a sign that it's not working. If we're back in House Party,
too soon.
Yeah, it's a sign. It's like, let's rethink this.
Well, we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna have to tell us which of these pitches you like the most,
or dislike the least.
Yeah. You got House Party Planners. Do I have that right?
No, you do. Yeah. Even the intonation.
Or you have House Party for realsies.
Is there an exclamation mark on for realsies? Did you see that in your head or no? Because I very much see an exclamation mark at the end of that.
Yeah. I kind of saw, the block one with like a square on the...
But that would look like Kid. That would look like an outline of Kid.
Exactly. Yeah.
Original flavor Kid.
Should we tell people what we're doing next, or keep that? Should we keep
Yeah,
it close?
just
to
in
the,
case
to the best.
we don't get around to doing it, or we throw in something
right.
in between.
Well, we got a special treat for you coming up. Hopefully,
we've definitely
we've
been teasing it for a while.
Yeah,
and I suppose we could say it's a series that we have covered in part.
Mm-hmm.
That's as far as
I think you gave the game away now.
No, I don't think so. We've done quite a few of those.
Please.
We do. We have.
I can only think of one.
Well, that's because you know what it is.
All right. Look forward to that. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back at some point in the near future. For Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions, Michael Shantz here. I'm from the How Dare You Awards. Say goodbye, Tom.
Newsflash, I'm not in a vagina.
You got the intonation on that just right.
That's exactly how that actress said that.
Yeah.
Is there another way to say that line? I don't think so.
I quit.
Look,
on that note.
Looking at
on
my
that
notes,
note,
there's some
we're
very
done.
specific There's some very specific grammar in there, to be perfectly honest.
Perfect. So long, everybody.
David.